The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee Time. It is Hump Day Wednesday, and I'm here with Carol. How you doing, Carol? Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
And I'm right here with our in-house comedian, George. How you doing, George?
Yeah, how you do? Remember, hump those closest to you, except no animals or hard objects.
I thought it was hump the ones you love.
Oh, there you go. That's it. Depends where you're at.
Yeah. And how's that day going so far?
How about you, Miss Carol? How's your day going?
So far it's going good, but I'm confused. Is today Tuesday or Wednesday?
Oh, yes, today is Wednesday. It's Tuesday. That's right. Taco Tuesday. You're right. It is Tuesday. Holy snipey.
Oh, snap.
Okay.
Wow.
I thought it was me. All right. I mean, we can hump the ones we love on Tuesday, but I'm like, is today? Did I miss a day?
Oh, wow. Thankful Tuesday, guys. I'm already, because I was already getting prepared for my upcoming classes tomorrow. I was going to say that today also. I forgot what interest groups we have.
We got
we have the
tonight.
Jaws with Andy. Or
All right. Yeah. I heard more people are gonna come into that class. A lot of people are getting their computer in JAWS. So if you would like to know more JAWS and getting around and doing some little tips and tricks that Andy and George also do in his JAWS tips and tricks. But today we have Andy with his class, and we're gonna see what he has in store for us. It's always something good, you know what I mean? And
Pedro, can I say
Andy's a
something real
good
fast?
teacher.
If you're on Facebook or YouTube and the audio skipping, please let us know because on my end is skipping on the live feed. So if anyone's having that issue, please comment.
Yeah. Sometimes our platform has problems. Sometimes I notice when we're drowning in here, it still sounds cool in the stream, but sometimes it's vice versa, but what can we do? We're live, and I hope the bandwidth gets better. So joining us for JAWS. What's after JAWS? There's not no other. Oh my God,
That's
No.
it for tonight that I know of. Just that one JAWS class.
Yes, tonight.
That's
And by the way, on
only interest
YouTube,
group.
it's streaming okay, but on Facebook it's kind of skippy. So.
Okay. I wonder why. Hopefully, it adjusts and is able to
Accordingly.
fix. Yeah. Drop a comment too. Let us know what you're having for Taco Tuesday. If you're having tacos or not.
Well, let me ask you this, guys, real quick before we start.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Carol, I'm kind of interested in you, Miss Carol. What do you like for your tacos? Your favorite tacos?
I like either fajita meat. I could do the ground meat. I could do the chicken. I like, cilantro, onions. I could do the lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, and it's got to be some either green or red sauce.
Yeah, that's why I asked her first, Mr. Pedro, because she's from Dallas, and Dallas sometimes they show the weird stuff and fish and all that. But and Pedro, I know you, dude. I wanted to see what you like. I know you're some good stuff there, aren't you?
Yeah. I like the carne asada tacos.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Also like the ones they do off the torpe. It's like a it's like a meat thing, and they just slide the meat and it slices it down into pieces and it starts cooking.
Ooh.
Is
All
What's
it
it
right.
like the
called?
barbacore?
I think so. It's like a thing that
Like
holds the meat
brisket?
and cooks it. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, and they come out good like that when they do them like that. I like the carne asada one. I like the beef one, a little bit of the lengua, because I like the little chewy part of it, like the little fat of it.
Oh.
Yeah, and then
Mm.
tacos de chorizo, tacos de fish. I
Damn,
like different
Pedro.
type of tacos. You know,
I
and
never
then I like uh-huh.
chorizo burritos or taco. Never had those. What is that?
Taco de chorizo is chorizo mexicano, and they put it in the taco.
Oh,
It's
really?
yeah,
Oh,
really
I never
good.
had that. It's pretty spicy, and I've never had that. I'm interested in that one.
Mm-hmm.
How do you order it? I'm serious. I wanna get that one because I know a restaurant that has something like that.
Usually you get it with onions chopped up, not too many things like the ones that you will get with the asada with the chopped up onions, chopped up
Okay, okay.
cilantro. You get chopped up rábanos and all these other things like the radishes. Can't even say it in English. I can say it in Spanish, but
Relish.
relish. Yeah, I will
Mm.
have a big chunky taco, guys.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hungry.
So do you
Anyway.
prefer flour or corn tortillas?
Oh,
Mm,
good question.
mm, good question. Go
Flour.
ahead, George.
I like flour.
You
Even though
like
it's not
flour?
good, but flour, yeah.
I like corn. I'm used to the corn. Um, but I am trying to stay away from gluten.
Right?
Ah,
Mm.
Yeah, so it's
Oh,
mm-hmm,
can I tell you a quick story real fast, guys? And
mm-hmm.
this is very important. I hope the audio doesn't break on this. So, we all talked about, advocating for yourself in the past, right, guys? And I'm going to tell you something that happened to me. I was in the hospital over the weekend. And don't take what they say for what is going on. For example, when you go to the doctor or the emergency room, they diagnose you with a bunch of stuff, right? You have this, you have that. So let me tell you my story. Even though I'm disclosing personal stuff, it doesn't really matter. It's the importance of the story. So when I got admitted, it was around 1 o'clock p.m. and the doctor says, or the nurse says, we're gonna take your blood, check your sugar. I'm like, oh, okay, it's something different. I go, why? He goes, well, they say that you're diabetic. I'm like, I am? Okay, whatever. So I just kind of, okay, I'll play along with it. Because I didn't want to see my sugar levels, right? So they took my sugar, at that time it was 125. I'm like, that's kind of low. Okay.
that's normal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, okay. And then I ate, and it was 132 after I ate. I'm like, that's low. Again, right? So at night, the tech came in. He goes, oh, Mr. Savala, after I finish with the next patient, I'm going to come back and give you your insulin. I'm like, whoa, 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 what? He goes, yeah, I'm going to give you your insulin. I'm like, no, you're not. He goes, yes, I am. The doctor said, "No." Why? Because it shows that you're diabetic. I'm like, have you seen my numbers? He goes, well, let me come back and we'll talk about it. I'm like, well, there's nothing to talk about. You're not giving me insulin. So anyway, he came back, folks, and he looked at my last reading. He goes, you're right. It is low. So I'm not going to give you your insulin. Well, you're not going to give it to me either way. So the next morning, folks, the change of shifts, the nurse, they're talking to each other. I could hear them. And they're saying what I had and this and that. And at the very end, she said, he's on scales. That means to take my sugar. And she goes, oh, he's diabetic. He goes, yeah. I go, what's his A1C? She says 6. I'm like, 6? I go, and then the lady goes, well, then why is he taking insulin? And that's when I jumped in. I go, exactly. Why am I taking insulin? Have you seen my numbers? Folks, all my numbers from eating and prior to eating were in the 120s and 130s. And they wanted to give me insulin. Carol, tell them what happens if they give me insulin at that low numbers.
You're going to
What
go
kind of
into a coma.
exactly? So, folks, know your stuff. And then the A16 is 6, or A1C is at 6. That's normal. If they were to give me insulin, folks, I wouldn't be here right now. So
Right.
advocate for yourself. If you hear weird things about your medical, don't be afraid to stand up. Okay, don't be like, okay, the doctor said out. No, 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 no. So please, if you ever come into that, just tell them, you know what, I don't feel comfortable, and no, you're not going to do it. And And I'm glad I did because now I know because people tell me, man, if they would have given you insulin, you would have gone into a coma. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh Lord, But anyways, this is my little story, folks. Just wanna,
Yeah. So you advocated for yourself?
hey, well, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't, I wouldn't be here. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. I get you. And we're gonna jump into the first article, and the first article we have is it's the title is "The End of Google's Traditional Blue Links." Okay, so let's take a listen, and we will talk about it in the other side.
Today on Coffee Time, we're diving into a digital transformation that's quietly reshaping the way we explore the internet, the end of Google's traditional 10 blue links. For decades, those familiar hyperlinks defined our online search experience. But thanks to artificial intelligence, the structure of search is getting a major makeover. Goodbye blue links, hello AI summaries. Google has introduced a new AI-powered feature called the Search Generative Experience, SG, first launched in May 2023 and later rebranded as AI Overviews in 2024. Rather than offering a simple list of 10 hyperlinks, AI Overviews provide concise, synthesized answers to your questions right at the top of the results page. Think of it as having a digital assistant summarize the best of the internet for you, without requiring you to click through multiple websites. The goal? Faster answers, smoother browsing, and less friction between question and solution. Users are responding. It turns out people like having their answers served up on a silver platter. According to Adobe Analytics, AI-powered search saw a 1,950% spike in referrals on Cyber Monday 2024 alone. Data shows that users engaging with AI search stay longer, visit more pages, and bounce less often. In short, AI search isn't just catching on, it's changing how people use the web. Google's boldest move yet. In March 2025, Google unveiled an experimental AI-only search engine. This version removes traditional blue links altogether. Instead, it provides AI-generated summaries with embedded hyperlinks to relevant sources. You still get to the information you want, but now it's within a curated, conversational response rather than a long list of URLs. This shift reflects a broader movement toward AI-driven interfaces that feel more intuitive, fluid, and tailored to individual users. SEO gets a makeover, too. If you're in marketing, content creation, or digital publishing, this change is a big deal. With AI summarizing content rather than displaying full links, traditional SEO tactics are evolving. Content creators are now focused on ensuring their material is authoritative, well-structured, aligned with user intent. Because if the AI doesn't understand and prioritize your content, it may not show up in the summary at all. The future of search. The rise of AI in search may signal the slow retirement of the 10 blue links we've grown up with. As AI becomes more sophisticated, we're headed toward more personalized and interactive search experiences, where the focus is on understanding your question and giving you a direct answer, not just offering a list of possibilities. It's a future that's faster, smarter, and more user-centric. But it also comes with important questions about how information is filtered, presented, and prioritized. What do you think? Do you prefer AI summaries or the old-school list of links? How do you think this shift will affect the way we access information, or how we decide what's reliable? And are we trading depth for convenience, or gaining a better user experience? Join the conversation and share your thoughts. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
All right, all right. George, any thoughts
Well,
before I
real
get
quick,
into?
Pedro, there are some comments regarding on Facebook that it is skipping. So if you could listen to this, go ahead and switch over to YouTube and look for Blind United. You can listen to the show there. But right now, Facebook is having some technical issues. So,
Yeah, sorry, folks.
yeah. Well, it's that blue link. Is that the visual thing, right? When it was to be like a blue hyperlink.
Yes,
Yeah, I
it's
remember
the
that.
text color.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So is that traditionally was it meant? Well, never. Well, since you like more in depth into tech. Was that meant purposely as a blue color, or is that just
It's to stand out,
okay,
and
okay,
it's
okay,
slightly bold. Sometimes they're underlined. It's easy to so visually people can visually see them and jump to them. For us, if you're in JAWS or VoiceOver, you can navigate by links and just jump by link and link,
Yes.
or headings, or even main region, to land on the web results. Sometimes you get all kinds of ads before, and you could skip all that by some of the shortcuts you're able to do with your screen reader. But yes, the iconic blue links are seeing less activity now, and this can cause problems like the article was saying with vendors and even self-employed people, or small companies. There is something called ICO ranking, and it's ranking on Google's search engine, and the object of that is to get to the first page and rank there. Sometimes the main companies and the mainstream products are there and stuff. You might have to go to the second page and find, more results. But, I have experienced the Google search engine when I look for something in Google and I get a summarized search by Gemini.
Oh, the
I don't
AI.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
hmm
if you experienced that.
I like. Yeah, honestly, I like that a little better. It just it'll break it down. Like, for example, for like let's say this morning I was looking for something this morning regarding Outlook, and I did the Outlook's Google search, and I like the way it broke it down. Like step one, step two, step three, instead of having to go to the hyperlink like I used to, or I'm sorry, the links they'll show, the results. So I did like that. I like that the AI overview. It's convenient. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for.
Hmm.
But at the same time, did that take away from other stuff? What is there other information I lost, but just by looking at the summary? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how that would be, how interactive AI would be if I wanted more information after that. Right? Did that make sense?
Yes, it makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, it does make sense, but you are able to expand and get sources.
True. True.
Um, if you use the Gemini application, it's AI, but you're able to browse too. They also have the Google application, Google search, and even even there, you get the little summaries.
I know the Gemini AI Pedro and Carol on the computer, anyways. Because at first, when it first launched, you really couldn't do like faces. Like person. You couldn't put the word person in the description. It was so. Anyways, so I had to do a PowerPoint presentation last week or 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to put little pictures of people with white canes walking down the street, or not the street, but the sidewalk, and it did it. And when I sent it
Hmm.
off to a friend of mine, Mike, he's like, "Hey, bro, how did you get those pictures?" I go to Gemini. By the way, he is watching too, Mike Palamad. And he's like, "How'd you do that?" It was Gemini. So I just think, depending, well, I guess you could answer this, Pedro, on the AI model, how progressive it gets into the responses, right? I mean, 'cause it learns from what you ask for, right? Like, for example, if I say a blind person walking down the street with their cane, does it know right away it's a white cane, or does it just put like a regular, like walking, like a, what do you call those, Carol? The old
Like a
people use.
walking cane.
Yeah, like a walking cane.
Hmm.
Because one time, when I put that as a picture, it did come out as a walking cane, not a white cane. And my friends shot me a text and said, "Hey, bro, you might want to change your picture on Facebook because you put a guy with a walking cane, not a white cane." I'm like, "Oops, okay." So I guess the AI didn't catch that, and I didn't put blind person. I just put a person walking down the street or down the sidewalk with a cane. I would figure AI would catch that, and it didn't. So
Well, at least it didn't call it a stick, like, some visual people get your stick, or I say, hey, this is a cane, a white cane. You have to be real specific. So I guess AI is the same way
true,
because it's visual people that are putting it together, you
true.
know?
Like Pedro says, Pedro always says about prompting. You're right. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm. Plus, you might be using the Gemini 1.0 still. The 2.0, They're still testing it, still not out, but the reasoning's not well. The understanding aspect of that model um, is able to process, the text, video, audio, and have memory in the same time. So it has a lapse memory of 10 minutes, meaning you could start a video stream with it and start orienting yourself and actually tell it, look, when you see a person, let me know if they're in my 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, or you could even say, every sign you come across, let me know so I could stop and you can read it for me. If you're looking for an address or a restaurant in a busy plaza, you know?
And by the way, Miss Monica on Facebook, YouTube, she stated today is Tuesday, or yeah, Tuesday. And sorry about that.
I
We cleared that
told
up.
y'all.
I
Don't
got it
worry.
all crooked. I got it all backwards.
I thought yesterday was Saturday, so don't worry about that, Pedro. So
Hmm.
sometimes we get our days lost.
Well, see,
Yeah.
yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, so I know it was on a Monday, but I'm like, did I miss a whole day?
Oh,
Yeah.
right,
But
smart. Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. That's right.
Yep.
yes,
Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. I hope everybody had green. I had green in my wallet,
me
so I'm
too.
covered there.
I have
I had
little
green in my
money in my
underwear. Does that
pocket.
count?
That does count. So when coming back to the search engine topics, this can this type of search and getting summaries might be a new frontier. More seems not personalized, but more intuitive to be talking back and forth with your search to make sure you're looking for the right website or the right information. Um,
Now, can that be influenced commercially? In other words, can the search engine be influenced by, let's say, a certain company? Like, let's say you're
yeah.
looking at your Google, and let's
Mhm.
say you're looking for computers, and it will only directly like to first will go HP and then Dell. Then
Mhm. Mhm.
can that happen?
That's called ICO ranking. It's people do it. People get paid to do this. I
Sure,
kind of
sure,
know a little bit of it because I was trying to rank up there and kind of know the knowledge. But basically, it's lining up your website with the keywords and other things like that, and trying to rank on Google's first page, second or third page. But like how you said, the name brand, the known companies sometimes get that first spot, you know?
So, in comparisons, I mean, no disrespect to Apple. I have an iPhone now that I'm blind. It's a lot user friendly, but to me, Google has always seemed to be a little bit better as far as searching compared to Safari. Would
Oh,
you all agree with that or no?
there's
yes,
there's aspects to that. At this time, I don't believe Apple has introduced their search engine. They've been working on something like that, but you have Google by default. Um, Google pays Apple to be on their search, but they got into a lawsuit. I don't know the outcome of the lawsuit, but they were saying it's unfair that only Google's like that by default and they pay because you do have choices between Google and Bing and I think
sure.
a couple others.
Well, real fast, Pedro, I wanted to mention this, and I know we're a little bit off topic, but it's kind of in the same area.
Hmm.
So we know we had talked about you specifically made us aware about YouTube having the mic open and whatnot. So just by coincidence, where did you stay at when you went to the convention, Pedro?
A double tree.
Isn't that funny? I was talking to Mr. Davis about that, right? He was telling me that the guys you're gonna stay and this and that.
Hmm. Hmm.
The same afternoon, guys. Same afternoon on my Facebook feed, it had an advertisement for the DoubleTree. I'm like, why would
Mm.
it? That's
It
very
happened to me
generic.
too,
Very,
George. It
did it?
happened to me. Yes, I'm working on a project, and it requires certain, uh, certain knowledge base, and um, I went to YouTube, and then I started getting Google ads about this. But
Wow.
look, if you want to experience this, and it's a bug, and I caught I caught them in a way. I already know how I'm gonna record it. But yes, the way you can test this out real quick, put on your meta glasses, go to YouTube, start browsing around. You're gonna notice the sound quality is gonna change. Even if you do dictation and search for a video, do that first and watch the sound quality kind of like sound like the mics are on. And then once it sounds like that, ask Meta to activate. Say a command to Meta, and you're going to see that Meta won't activate because the mics are on and listening. When I get out of
Mm.
YouTube, it goes back to normal. When I close YouTube, it goes back to normal.
Oh wow,
But it's
Oh,
YouTube
wow.
listening, and they are not telling us by displaying that little mark on the top
that's a
of the
lawsuit right there,
status.
brother.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is a lot.
invasion of privacy, right?
Well, basically, they're not letting you know. I mean, I
Yes.
understand, like you said, right,
It's
Pedro?
a
I understand, but if they say, well, it's gonna stay on, well, that's my choice, like you always say, right? You can turn it off. But if they don't tell you and it's
That's an
still on,
invasion. That's
yeah,
an
yeah,
invasion.
and the funny part is that you wouldn't either wise know because if you say the S lady, like, hey, S lady, it still will activate no matter what, even
yeah,
if they
yeah.
were listening. But
Hmm.
since these are Bluetooth and it has mics, something did not let them, Meta go through. And that's, I started noticing this like 3, 4, 5 months ago. I'm about to start documenting this stuff too. But try it out, guys. If you have the Ray-Ban Metas and search for a video and watch how YouTube is going to continuously listen to you, even when you're watching videos. So any conversation you're having, they're listening. And Google loves data.
Oh
But
yeah.
we gotta get to a commercial break. So we be right back, guys.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United. Did you know that people in third world countries do not have access to canes? The You Can Give initiative gives canes to people all over the world who cannot get canes. The You Can Give initiative not only goes to these countries and gives people canes, but they give people canes and a digital recorder that is solar powered that has instructions on how to use the cane and instructions on how to repair the cane. The You Can Give initiative is a very worthy cause, giving canes to blind people all over the world. If you have a cane that you're no longer using, or a cane that's broken or bent, you can go to youcangive.org and get a shipping label, and you can ship your cane to Jimmy in Tennessee, and he will refurbish it and give your cane to a blind person in a third world country. That website again is youcangive.org.
Yep, guys, and that's You Can Give. And if you like to purchase and get something while donating, go to customcanes.com. That's custom with a K. Get a cane sheaf, a cane light, a new cane, a custom cane. It all helps out Jimmy.
It's like Forrest Gump, Country Crane. Anyway, Virginia Valdez says hello, good morning, Miss Tisha. Am I saying that right?
Tisha.
Yep,
She's
you
saying
got it.
that let's have a lot of tacos. And of course, Miss Monica says that George is not considered diabetic at 6.5. Well, it's actually 6. And if they would have given you insulin, maybe you would have gone really low. And of course, she made several comments about the tacos. And of course, Mike Palamad.
Yeah. It can be dangerous if you're not diabetic or past the threshold. It can insulin can drop your sugar levels, but being in a hospital, they might give you little bit of cc's here and there. It's not like an extensive hit. Um, you know.
I'll keep track of the comments. Do they refresh by themselves, Pedro, or do I have to hit
Yes,
F5?
they refresh by themselves, and
Okay.
sometimes I put them on the screen for people to see that
Oh,
have.
okay.
That's just me. But
No, that's fine. That's true.
thank you, George, for taking care of the comments. But yes, insulin. You know, there's some avocation that we need to do there. I ran into blind folks that have insulin and they have to give themselves their insulin and they're not able to calculate the right amount. It's either a little less or a little more, you know.
But dude, I think that when they check your blood with their fingers, holy Lord, that thing hurts.
Oh,
Ooh, that thing
yes.
Yeah.
hurts, man.
That Lancet is not kind.
Yes, it's not kind.
And then the next day, when I took a bath, I'm like, why my fingers burn? I'm like, okay, that's why. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, with that alone, folks, that experience, I'm like, oh, hell, I'm going to try my best not to go down that route because that thing hurts.
It does. And we got a next article, and this article is the rising rates of autism and ADHD. So let's take a listen.
Today on Coffee Time, we're taking a thoughtful look at a growing trend that's sparked both progress and debate, the rising rates of autism and ADHD diagnoses across the country. While increased awareness and improved screening tools have opened doors for many individuals seeking understanding and support, questions are emerging about whether we've started to overdiagnose these conditions and what that could mean for healthcare, individuals, and society as a whole. Why are diagnoses increasing? In recent years, diagnoses of autism spectrum disorder, ASD, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, have surged. On one hand, this can be seen as a positive shift. More people are recognizing the signs early, more families are seeking help, and more resources are being allocated to address neurodivergent needs. But as with many advancements, there's another side to the story. Here are some of the key factors contributing to the rising numbers. Expanded diagnostic criteria. Over time, definitions of both autism and ADHD have broadened to include a wider range of behaviors and traits. This allows individuals with more subtle symptoms, or those who previously would have been overlooked, to receive a diagnosis. But it also raises the risk of capturing individuals whose behaviors may simply reflect natural personality differences or situational factors. Enhanced awareness and screening. Increased education among teachers, parents, and healthcare professionals means more people are being evaluated. Early intervention programs are more widespread, and that's great news for those in need. However, critics point out that screening tools can sometimes be applied too broadly, potentially leading to false positives. The role of social media. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram have given rise to a new kind of neurodivergence awareness. Users frequently share relatable content about living with ADHD or autism, which can help break down stigma. But it can also encourage self-diagnosis based on limited information, without input from professionals, contributing to a surge in people seeking formal diagnoses, sometimes prematurely. The risks of overdiagnosis. While acknowledging and supporting neurodivergent individuals is crucial, overdiagnosis brings its own set of concerns. Medicalizing normal behavior. There's a fine line between identifying a mental health condition and labeling natural variations in behavior as disorders. When the line blurs, it can lead to unnecessary treatments, stigmatization, and an altered sense of self. Strain on healthcare resources. As diagnostic rates increase, so does the demand for services, such as therapy, medication, and educational accommodations. This can divert attention and resources from individuals with severe challenges who may need more intensive support. Emotional and psychological impact. Receiving a diagnosis, especially for children and teens, can shape self-identity in ways that may not always be positive. For individuals whose symptoms don't significantly impair daily life, the label itself can create anxiety or affect how they view their potential. Striking a balance. This is not a call to roll back the clock or ignore people who benefit from a diagnosis. Quite the opposite. Access to diagnosis and support has changed lives for the better. But what many experts are saying is that we need to balance enthusiasm for awareness with caution in clinical practice. Healthcare providers are urging a return to comprehensive, individualized evaluations that take context into account. Not every attention issue is ADHD. Not every social difficulty is autism. Nuance matters. The bigger picture. Increased understanding of neurodiversity is a positive and necessary shift in how we support individuals across the spectrum of human behavior. But with that comes the responsibility to ensure that diagnoses remain meaningful, support remains effective, and no one on any end of the spectrum is overlooked or overlabeled. What do you think? Have you noticed the rise in ADHD and autism awareness in your community or online? Do you think we're striking the right balance between support and overdiagnosis? What role should schools, families, and healthcare professionals play in maintaining that balance? Now, back to the coffee time crew for their thoughts.
Yep, guys, there's a lot of correlation with over prescribing, I believe. You know,
Yes.
in different aspects of healthcare, you have doctors over prescribing, they're quick to prescribe, instead of suggesting changes in maybe like in behavior, meaning exercise, uh,
I think with a
concentrate
lot of
on
times,
mental health, like concentrate on happy thoughts instead of negative,
true,
you know,
true.
because there's a lot of people are antidepressants and they cause a lot of damage also to your liver and to your mental well-being if they're not properly medicated. And sometimes it happens a lot. You were saying, George?
No, I just think that you're right, Pedro. Because when I was growing up, and then maybe because the way they diagnose autism now is different from back then. But I'm a little bit older than you, and I know me and Carol are probably in the same area. But the thing is, it's just an explosion, especially in the early 2000s, of diagnosis of autism on the spectrum, and then of course, like you said, with the prescriptions or prescribing medicines. And I think sometimes that you're right, Pedro, because sometimes those medicines, I've known a few people that they actually get worse. I believe they become more what's that word I'm looking for? More
Lethargic,
lethargic. That's the perfect word. Perfect word.
like a
And
zombie.
yeah, there you go. And like you said, Pedro, maybe just by, and I know, I'm going to be very honest with you. I know some people in Juarez that, their child on autism, and guess what? They use natural herbs. And like you said, Pedro, exercise or physical therapy or whatever, but they go the non-medical route. And I'm like, wow, that person is really good compared to someone that, has 2 dozen medications to, because you think about this, guys. They prescribe one thing and that leads to another thing. Okay, well, now we have to cover that. So they just prescribe another thing and now they have to cover another side effect. So it's just bad. I just think the over prescription is a big problem.
It really is. I mean, I'm 60, so when I was growing up, none of this that I can recall kind of existed. I mean, we would notice certain things about children, and forgive me when I say it, but you were either retarded or you were not. And now, autism and, some ADHD, a child could have too much sugar or they were just hyper. But it was just certain things that we would do to kind of counteract that. And
Yeah.
exercise would be one of those things to where you would drain them. Now kids, as soon as they see something happening, they will say, get this child put on Ritalin, or hey, he's a little bit too, out there, or this,
Well,
that, or the other, and
well,
they receive a check and just don't really try to figure out what's really going on with this child.
do you think maybe the times have changed, Miss Cook? Like me and you, I remember when I was younger, there's not technology. I think Atari came out when I was maybe, I forgot what age, but I remember back in the day, you go out and play stickball or bicycle or soccer,
Yes,
and you come in. That my uncle said, when the light turns on outside, you come in.
you come in.
And nowadays the kids just come home straight to the computer, and that that lack of physical activity, maybe that's a contributing factor. I don't know. I'm not a physician, of course, but I just see an explosion of autism in the past few years, and I just think that there has to be something correlating to that. It just can't be
I
just a you know.
I believe it. I mean, we had recess at school and we played outside, and now kids, they've just become lazy, and,
Yep.
and it's like they don't want to go outside. I couldn't wait to get outside. That was just something
Yep.
fun to do, and I hated when the light came on because I
Yes, sir.
knew I had to get in. But it made me have a good night's sleep, and it was just a lot more attention to me as a child, my cousins, my friends, to where it was just a little bit more family oriented, where we all sat at the table, we had conversation. It was one TV, and we only watched it on the weekends, cartoons and then westerns, and then we
Yep.
outside again playing. But
Miss
kids are
Carol,
not doing
when
that
I was
now.
younger, my uncle, this is a Saturday or Sunday, 8 o'clock in the morning, either like on Sundays, go cut the yard or go to church. 8 o'clock on Saturday, get out, just get up, get dressed, and go outside and play. And we're like,
Right.
what? And I think I appreciate that now because that's made us I think he really wanted to make sure we slept. But what it was is we went out to play. We came home around lunch, ate a sandwich, and we left again, go play football, and that was just a normal day. You know,
Yes.
spending outside 8 hours, that was just a normal day. But now I hear about kids being on their computer 16 hours or on their phone 16 hours. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of
They
hours, man.
they don't even get activity in the house. We had chores. You better make sure
Yes,
that
sir.
room is
Yes, ma'am.
clean. Do
Mm-hmm.
this, do that. Kids don't do that. I'm not saying that all kids don't,
No, 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 no.
but we didn't get paid for cleaning up our room. That was just what we did. But now, I don't understand it. But I'm not a parent either. But I
Yeah.
just, I was a child, so I understood what my job was, and I didn't get paid for it.
That's right. But the point is, I think saying that too, Carol, I think the times have changed, right? Like I said, going back to what I said earlier, the technology, maybe that has just made it easier for parents. And Pedro, I know Pedro could kind of comment on this from his perspective. Maybe parents use that as, okay, they have technology that can take care of my kid while I'm doing this. Or I need to wash the clothes, or I need to do this, and I'll give my son or daughter a phone to keep her busy. Whereas when I was young, put your butt outside, go play in the backyard, with the dog or whatever. But I think, I don't know. Like I said, I was only a parent or step parent for 10 years when the child was in their teens. So it's a little bit different, right? That came into dating and all that crap. But what do you say, Pedro, in regards to your perspective as a parent, you know, having that technology component in the discussion?
Yes. Well, it can be helpful, the way you would manage that device or the content that that device is bringing to your child. My children actually did not have a device until they were around 8, 9. Um, Even now, I got parental controls, and it's good to have them. You
But you
know,
know what? Honestly, Pedro, I'm gonna give you props, brother. I don't think a lot of parents go to that extreme. I just here you go, shut up, go away. And I think you're I hate to say this, and I might be wrong. You might be the exception where a lot of parents don't look into the parental guidance or parental, guards out there, and they just
mhm,
give the device to the child. Okay, get
That's
out of
true.
here.
yeah,
You know.
That's true. Well, back in the day, our computer was called a book, and we sat down and read it.
Yeah,
Kids
but
don't read books now.
yeah. But I think like it's what Pedro does is should be looked at as a good thing, right?
He's a great father,
Yeah, he
yes,
is.
and
Yeah,
and
he does.
he really takes out the time to make sure, and instead of giving these toys or computers or phones as rewards, he takes things away. If you're not doing what you're supposed to, these devices are taking away. They're
True.
not given as rewards based on your bad behavior. They're given based on the things that you do right. And a
True.
lot of parents don't do that. You
You're right.
know, okay, you're not cleaning up your room. Your school grades are horrible. Here, I bought you a new iPod.
I hear you. Yeah, that's
Here's the
true.
new Jordans. That's
Yeah.
stupid to me, but I'm not a parent. So, however they choose to parent their child is how they choose to parent their child.
Amen. Amen to that. So I mean, what can we do? But sometimes we have to pay the consequences, right? When it comes to
Yes.
vandalism or
Yeah.
whatever the kids decide to say. Well, my parents not going to really care, and you know I know we're going off topic here, but I just think that autism, the diagnosis of autism, it could be used in a bad way and a good way. The good way is in the teaching environment where they get those tools, through ARD or 504, or it could be used as a bad thing, like Pedro said about prescriptions, you know, or
Yeah,
too much.
yeah, and a thing that can benefit and also be a negative depending on how you use it as a reward system. So let's say your kid is having a fit, and instead of you sitting down, taking some time to calm him down to correct his behavior, you just shove the phone in their hands. That's uh counter it's not the right way to approach the situation, because and then you're rewarding behavior with a phone, plus the phone with the games and all these colors is exciting the brain, and it releases other endorphins and hormones that stimulate, you know. So what I used to do, and I used to sit down, talk back and forth like that, with my child. Unfortunately, only my oldest had fits. The two younger ones don't. But my oldest just had like 2 or 3 episodes. But even in the store, when he wanted something, I would sit down right there with him, next to him, and say, "No, you got to get up." I know it looks kind of bad, but that all this is happening inside of a store and you got strangers looking. But I'd rather correct behavior, especially when they're young. So when they're growing up, that behavior is corrected.
True.
Right.
You
That's right.
know, mm, a child is learning how to interact with the world, and they also are learning what is acceptable and what is not. You know, and
See,
mhm.
what I used to do, Pedro, with mine when I was a stepdad or step parent, I would go in there and put them in the corner and I'd let them sit there for 2 hours, 2 minutes. And I go behind them. I go, okay, why are you standing here? Why are you in the corner? Oh, because I did this. And I'm like, okay, do you understand why you did it? Well, yeah. And you're right. You have to correct the behavior, Pedro, because if not, it's gonna get bad, worse and worse and worse. And
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
right.
And when you're correcting behavior and you're asking, do you know what you did wrong? And they say, yeah. Usually I'd say, I need an explanation. I need you to explain to me what you did wrong and how you understand that it was wrong,
Hmm.
so they can think about it and analyze the situation and see. Because, kids be like, yeah, 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 I learned my lesson. But, sometimes
Right.
you have to poke a little more, you
I
know.
think the biggest difference, I guess, is from now to where we're younger, right, Miss Carol? I'm not sure if you've experienced this, Pedro, when you're younger, but the acceptance or the what's that word of swatting your kids, of you know, was
Oh,
it was accepted, but at a point, right? My uncle, he whipped my ass, but that's strange. But the thing is, he did it in a way where you did it once and that's it. Because you knew if you did it again, you're gonna get your butt whipped. And all me and my two cousins, we never got in trouble. You know, fights or
Right.
drugs or gangs. Because we knew, man, we got home, my uncle can whip my butt. And I think that's,
Mhm.
of course, nowadays it's totally different because you barely touch a child, they'll call CPS on you. And
Right.
so, what do you think about that, Carol? I mean, from
I mean,
our
for me,
perspective.
I was raised to where I got spanked as well, but I would rather get a spanking than to be talked to because my mother knew the buttons to push to hurt my feelings with her words.
Okay.
So I learned, just discipline, because we were and it wasn't just my mother, my father, it was neighbors, it was a village of people, teachers, and it was just a combination of a lot of people to just bring me in because I just thought I could learn how to do what others were doing. And I was just taught, hey, if they jump off of a bridge, are you going to jump off of a bridge? That type of thing. So yes, it's not acceptable for people to whip their children, but trust me, there's still people that do it. They just do it inside their house. And I will be threatened, hey, if you're going to reach for that phone, you might as well get ready to not have any hands because I'm going to chop them off.
I hear
But
you. I hear
so
you.
my mom would use threats to where I believed it. I'm gonna knock you to kingdom come. I still don't know where kingdom come is,
Right.
but I'm just
I
saying
think it's
it's
somewhere
certain
in
things.
I think it's somewhere in Indiana. I think so, but anyway, I don't know. Sure,
But
we have
but
a
fear ruled everything. Where I knew she probably wouldn't have done it, but I didn't take her up on it. But now kids just are not afraid of anything,
right,
so
right.
they don't think you're gonna do it because people don't do it.
Well, I guess because we're out of the spectrum of parents, right? Or that the young days, like
But
back in the 70s and 80s.
well, if she hadn't have done or said some of the things, it's no telling how I would have ended up. So,
Exactly.
and another thing is, my mother was my mother, my father was my father. They were not my friends, and a lot of these parents now are trying to be these kids' friends, and that's what gets them in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
You have to parent them and not friend them, and that'll save them in the end.
And there's a term that we use in our culture is way, almost that way. And I've heard kids talking to their dads that way. I don't know if
Yeah,
you heard that, Pedro. Like, me that way. And I'm like, wow, talking to your dad that way?
yeah,
I was shocked. I'm like, wow, that's like just so disrespectful, you know? Like me, I even call even today my uncles and aunts, I still call them Uncle Andy, Uncle, whatever, or Aunt, whatever. I put that title as a sign of respect,
it
right?
is.
But you don't go away, So, oh man, I have never understood why they talk to their parents that way, you know. So I know they don't do that to Pedro. I guarantee they don't do that to Pedro. So do they, Pedro? I don't think they do, but
Um, I had little occasions and stuff like that. My youngest, she talks back, but she talks back to her mother. Um, she doesn't talk back to me. But I do notice little things here and there. She might say, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this." She doesn't, and I give her slack. I let her slide sometimes. I kind of am messing up in that part. But overall, they are well behaved. I had an incident with my oldest where I used to kind of like mock him a little, and he got upset. Well, he grabbed one of my things and he hid it from me, um, knowing that I'm blind. You know, we had to sit down and talk to him, his mother also, about how that is taking advantage of me being blind. I had to come to the realization too that I think that I might just be poking a little fun, but I might be hurting their feelings by the little mocking things I would used to do, you know?
Right.
well, then,
Um,
Pedro, can I ask you this question? And I'm glad you said that. And I always had this discussion with other people. Being a blind dad, that doesn't make you less of a dad, does it? I mean, I'm being sarcastic when I ask that question because people automatically think that as a parent that's blind, oh, what they can't do, they can't be a parent, they can't be a mom or a dad. What can you say to that? Because I think that's BS. Be honest with you, but from your
Yeah,
perspective, you would.
yes. To me, it's BS. There is blind individuals. Several of them had told me before that they were um, they were advised not to have kids.
Oh
This
wow.
goes to women that were blind and to couples that are blind, not to have a child because it would be hard and it's gonna be difficult. The thing is that a sighted person never has gone through that trial. So they cannot tell you it can't be done. They can't tell you it's going to be hard. They can't tell you it's going to be easy because you're going to have your ups and downs. But I could change a diaper with my eyes closed, you know. Uh I'm able to do a lot, with cooking and cleaning and taking them out and even teaching them, having them research their history of where they come from, their nationality, and stuff like that. Um, but there is some aspects that, as a father, has hit hard, close to home to me in teaching them like bicycling. I couldn't teach one of my sons bicycling because I couldn't tell what he was doing as he was trying to get on the bicycle. I did show him that I could still ride a bike, but to try to give him pointers, it was a little difficult. Um, I
But hold on. Let me
mhm,
stop you there, Pedro. But I want to be honest with you. It didn't stop you from being a dad, being supportive,
mm-mm.
disciplined. So don't. What's that word? Don't. What's that word I'm looking for,
Don't feel
Carol?
down about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, don't talk about, don't think that's a negative thing, Pedro, because there's many aspects of being a parent. And by you, installing that discipline, that knowledge about what you just said about, you know, the ancestry, that's good stuff. Now, the physical stuff, hey, it you can even be sighted and not know teach someone how to
Yeah,
ride a
it's a
bike.
lot of things that, like,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Hmm.
Well, he did got pointers from one of his uncles, but it was just like for like a few days, and after that, it was me and him, and I would take him to the park, and now he knows how to ride his bike. Hopefully later, when he's an adult, we could tandem bike because I love bicycling.
Oh, that'd be
Um,
cool. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
I
that would
yeah,
be.
Oh,
I
yeah.
played kickball with them, even though I can't see the ball. Sometimes I could hear it rolling. Um, I played football with them, throwing the football and they catch it and they throw it back. Usually, what I do is have one of my kids on my side and then be back and forth.
But see,
Or
Uh,
get
Pedro,
one that has a bell in it. That way they
yeah,
can,
yeah. But at the time, I
play
didn't
with
have
you.
one.
Of course, of
but
Yeah.
but
course.
Pedro,
Like
and
Hmm.
I'm
you were
glad you're
saying with,
saying all
oh,
this.
I'm sorry, George.
No, go ahead, Carol.
No, I was just saying with the ADHD and with a lot of the children, do you find that some of the parents can see changes in their children, but they're just not willing to accept it or reach out to get them help? Like if a teacher, because some of the parents are guarded with their children. You see things with your child, but you just, whether you don't want to accept that they're not the same as everyone else. A teacher may tell you, hey, they're not picking up as fast as they should, or maybe you need to have them tested, or a
Yeah.
neighbor or a friend or a family member. And some parents are resistant to say that this child may have autism or this child may have ADHD,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
a lot of the parents are not accepting of the fact that their child is not like everyone else, even though they can see it.
Yes. Yes. And there's aspects to that. Because I did have teachers telling me that one of my children was slow, they're behind, and this and this and that, and I would tell them from the first grade, look, um, my child started late. She's slowly grasping and coming along. The second grade, I was telling them, yeah, she's progressing. She's catching up. She has started late. By the third, fourth grade, she's almost catching up. She was doing way better. By the fifth grade, she was already grade level. Sixth grade,
Okay.
but it took working with her and stuff like that. They thought she had a problem. And and sometimes teachers want to be doctors and diagnose, or assistants want to diagnose autism or HDHD. Oh my God, I always say it wrong. But the thing you might have to say to yourself, my child may have this, but how can I customize their learning to suit their condition so they can
True.
learn the way they
True.
comfortable learning,
That's
so
true.
they can capture that.
That's it.
So in other words, like for example, they say like me. They say for example, I'm more auditory. I learn better by sound than reading. Is that what you mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
okay,
And
Some
then the
some
language
people,
barrier sometimes can deal with it. I mean, if you're in a fully Hispanic family, and even though you speak English, sometimes just, especially as a young child, capturing it where that's all they speak, sometimes you may take a little while to grasp that too, right?
yeah. Unfortunately, I kind of regret this for my child. I didn't put him in Duolingo because I wanted to concentrate on the English language and math
Right.
and science mostly.
Right.
Um, for math and science. And my my two children, my two older ones, they grasp the science and coding, and they kind of, my oldest likes to kind of code a little bit on his own, a little here and there he plays. My middle child, pretty smart, but he likes to kind of look cool and clown around, but he's smart. um my daughter's also smart. She's
Okay.
learning with mathematics and science. I buy her STEM presents. Like for her Christmas, I bought her a STEM built your own Bluetooth speaker. Um, she's
that's pretty
she's
cool,
smart
man.
in the creative sense that she draws. She gets these little motors and tries to build these little robots out of paper and little batteries and motors. So she's smart. Look, this is my whole saying. Everyone is smart in their own way. Everybody is smart somehow. There
True.
is no dumb person, because even the knowledge that I might not have, someone might else have, you
That's
You're
know.
right.
true.
You're
And
right.
and and
Ooh,
and and
I don't hear the wrap up music.
no, I'm about to wrap up though. But
Okay.
Are we past the time?
smartness, when they tell you intelligence and smartness, a lot of people refer to education institution type smartness, but there's different types of being smart and intelligent.
But
There's
Carol,
creative ways and stuff like that. Go ahead, George.
no, let me ask Carol. Carol, there's a difference, right? Street smart and smarts, right?
That's right.
Because I know it's the YouTube page, street smart. When you see something or hear something, oh shoot, I'm out of here later, right? But you're right, Pedro. And like I said, going back to what I said earlier, Pedro, don't 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 talk back because you just the stuff that you instilled. Look what it's showing. Look at your kids; they're into science and whatnot. So physical stuff, hey, it is what it is. You did the football, so it's
Hmm.
not like you didn't try. Is there's certain things we can't do as a blind person, but hey, you done
To
your
me,
best.
to
And,
me,
and,
he's a better father because he's showing his children that no matter what happens, you can do anything.
Amen. Amen to
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Mhm.
and um, also, oh my God, I lost my thought. You know, yeah. So
I like the music, by the way.
Everybody's intelligent in their own way, especially when it comes to children. It's good to analyze, look, and pay attention, and then make up with a solution. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. Um, I take a heart this saying. Okay, I take it to heart. It says it says like this. Okay, a master of all is not a master of one. Right? That's
True.
where
Right.
everybody leaves off. And the second part of that saying is, a master of one would never be a master of all.
True.
So I like to
Gotcha.
be learning from everywhere and different things from different topics and stuff like that, because you know all that little bit of knowledge that I get from everywhere, I'm able to use it. So I'd rather not be a master of one. I would always love to be a master of all, even though I might not just be an exclusive master to a certain topic.
And so basically, what that means, folks, in our culture is you could either be a stupid or you could be a pendejo.
Was underestimate the word you were looking for, George?
Yes, yeah. Underestimate yourself. There you go, Pedro. That's the word I was looking for. So, but anyways, are we over the hour now? Well, that was a quick show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a good
Children
show.
and education is always a good topic. It's a topic that I'm still dealing with, even though I got children.
But Pedro, let me stop you here. But it's very, very important, and I think Ms. Carol could agree with this, that you speak your mind out what you do with your kids, because you're an example of what a parent could do no matter what. And I'm not going to mention that you're blind, that you have some limitations that all parents have. Like you just said, a master of one. So in other words, a parent might be good in, let's say, discipline, but they suck in whatever. So you're just bad in one area, but the rest you're good. And so you're blind. Hey, it is what it is. This is part of who you are, as a parent.
Yeah. And yeah, I thank you, George, for that too. Yeah, and also, folks, remember, once your kid turns 18, they're grown, but that doesn't end your duty as a parent. I tell my kids I am gonna be your parent until I pass away. I'm gonna be in your life. It's not, oh, you turn 18? Yeah, you gotta do your laundry and cook, but I still will be doing that. But I always gonna be around, advising and giving my opinions, guiding my sons to the right direction. Like right now, I'm trying to direct my son, my youngest son, and my nephew to be in coding, computer science, or some type of robot engineering, or AI fundamentals, to teach. Well, not to teach, but to get a job to teach these models and get paid.
Wow, that's pretty good. I'm like, God dang.
That's the advice I give to people. If you have 3-4 kids, try to direct them to the same profession, because when they get older, if they all want to start their own business, they could come together. Yep. Or for example, one could be in business and the other one could be in technology development, and the other one could be in marketing, and come together and make a business. Now you have the marketing side, business side.
If they don't want to do it, it's not gonna work.
Yes, it's true. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, George. Thank you, Carol. Any last words, Carol?
No, just make your Tuesday terrific.
And then, even though it's not Wednesday, Pedro, still hump your love. How do you say it? Hump those you love. There you go. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for commenting. If you're listening to this later on, follow our Facebook page. Thank you. Just hit that like, follow. It doesn't hurt. It helps us out. And you will get information and your notifications. All right, guys. Have a great day.